Da 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is True Powers Mine, and this is TPIM Live, baby. Today, we have a lot of information to go through, and I fear not so much time to do it in. Now, the picture of the four men that you see before you are the four presidents that have basically been involved in the impeachment processes. Remember this, where you like Trump, where you don't. If he is indeed impeached for abuse of power, then we get none other than his buddy Pence, the ideologue. We also have to remember that we are still in a state of emergency. With the new draconian laws coming down, it's not outside of the realm of thought that some nasty things could happen in this nation if indeed Mr. Trump, President Trump, is impeached or removed from office. And we'll pull up some things to illustrate that later on in the broadcast. But for right now, I just want to thank Brother Tony. Welcome to the show, Peace and Power. I just want to thank the Most High for allowing me yet again to get up here on the mic as your true power is mine and give you the information that you so desperately need. Sister Kathy, Peace and Power, welcome to the show. So let's just start off and see what's going on. This is pretty tongue-in-cheek right here, isn't it? Right, hold on. Merry Christmas, you're impeached. Witch hunt. And we're going to be talking about witches and stuff later on, I'm sure. Yes, I am a little under the weather today. It's been incredibly cold back here. I've been outside. I caught a cold. I'm only human. But even with a cold, a full live studio audience here, which say, Brother David, peace and power. We are continuing to do what we have to do. Okay? We are continuing to do. And that's not a nice thing to say, Brother David. And you might want to watch your tongue before they make that illegal too. Before we start off, hold on, I want to show you. Yeah, I think I already shared this on the last video, but I think it's very important. President signs law that you cannot criticize Israel. Well, it's just an executive order. This happened 7 days ago, or reported 7 days ago. Trump signs executive order targeting colleges, anti-Semitism. First, they came for the college. Trump target anti-Semitism and Israel boycott. And this was December 10th, 2019. Since when? Since when in a free republic, whether you're a student, whether you're a prisoner, whether you're a soldier, well, soldier, that's a different story because you actually sign over your rights in the contract to become property of the United States government, etc., etc. But as a citizen, since when does a president have the authority to restrict or confine your speech, your political speech? We're not talking about sitting in a theater yelling fire, or you're on a plane yelling bomb or some sort of terroristic threat. We're not talking about those situations. We're talking about a political voice. I mean, what if we had a president that says, I don't know, for whatever reason, you cannot criticize Nazism. You can't criticize the Nazis. You can't criticize, let's just say, communism. You can't criticize communism. Any American citizens found criticizing the People's Republic of China for anti-communism rhetoric will be dealt with appropriately. You see where we're going down the slippery rabbit hole? But it's not we yet again. I've grown. I understand that we are not united in this country. We're not on one accord for the most part. Now we're civil towards each other, but that's that thin veneer of civility. But across the different tables of groups, of organizations, there's more divisiveness and negative energy being passed along and positive. And the reason why I want to talk about this energy thing, the spiritual energy, is because the other day I received a video that came across my desk from a confidential informant in Kemet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I'm going to jump over here real quick, but we'll come back to the news bit here. I just want to jump gears because this is all going to tie together. Let me jump over here real quick, go down to history. Once again, because I don't watch any shameful nonsense, I'm not scared of showing you out my history. I'm trying to get her to come on the show. Popped by Cherry. Very interesting point of view. Huge subscriber base over there. But yeah, this one right here, this was an awful video. But this is the video I wanted to direct your attentions to. Hold on. There's apparently a couple of ads. Okay, hold on.
Most of the children at this rehabilitation centre.
Hold on.
SBS advisor.
Hold on.
With a little help from.
Okay. Hold on. So sorry, but this is real disclosure. Before I continue with this presentation, I want to let you know the source is coming from a Australian, I guess, firm. So this could be some a slanted propaganda. Okay, but the essence of the story is based on truth and reality, and we'll break that down later on. I wanted to cite that source. This is not coming from a United States source. It's actually coming from an Australian source.
Australia, wallets open, fingers crossed. Can they catch the witch doctors who prey on young children?
Okay, stop everything. Yeah. The wiry's called the tracker. All of a sudden, out of the blue, we get a phone call saying the guy's back in town. And now all we had to do was find him.
I love the way you handle my situation. I love the way you fight for me. I love the way you handle me.
Peter Sawachirianga certainly has a way with kids. But behind all the silliness is the painful knowledge of how they came to be in his care.
Yeah, the painful knowledge of the results of colonization in Kemet. That's the painful knowledge we should be focused on. The reason why these babies are here is because the folks in Kemet did not have the opportunity to technologically progress because of the restraints of colonization. Now, you can look at other sort, blah, 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 but that's the root of it. These babies, oh God, these babies. So sad, so sad.
Yeah. Most of the children at this rehabilitation centre are victims of child sacrifice.
Let me explain what's going on here, yeah, for real. It's not a fucking state secret. If you take a human being and you torture them to such a degree that they release the body's natural endorphins to deal with the pain and stress. You kill that individual, you drink the blood. This is what the witch doctors and people who practice Satanism believe or subscribe to. Sister Sandra, welcome to the show. Peace and power. You drink that blood and you'll get some sort of drug effect from it. It's not witchcraft. It's actually biology. Now, if you don't know biology, you don't understand how the human body works, then yes, it will appear to be magical, but it's not magic. Instead of doing all this stuff, listen. You're like, what? What are you talking about, True? You're always talking about spirit. Yeah, I'm talking about spiritual things in representation to self. In growing what you need to grow on the inside to complete yourself. But there's a duality to the thing. It's the outside. The outside is governed by a set of mechanics called physics, called science, and it's called experimentation and documentation of the experiment, so you can pass that information on to other people so they don't have to waste time with developing the processes that you already developed. That is the one up that we seem to not be recognizing. Now, you can be spiritual all you want. You can be religious all you want. But if you don't have science, technological, and engineering attributes about your society, you're going to end up being the next man's bitch in a minute. Because somebody's going to come through with a laser gun. Someone's going to come through with a nuclear bomb. Someone's going to come through with a fighter jet. Someone's going to come through with some artillery and soldiers and bow your monkey ass down. Now, you can put that in your little witch cauldron and brew that up if you want. But that's the reality of this thing. This baby's neck right here bears witness to the savagery of corrupt souls engaging in corrupt activities. My friends, I ask you not to turn away from your spirituality. Embrace it, absolutely. But simultaneously embrace the ideal and concepts of science and technology and use them for both defensive and offensive societal purposes. Let's continue.
Robert, the fighter. Peter's a former accountant who became a pastor, and he started campaigning against child sacrifice almost 10 years ago.
Now, that was code word this Ozzy guy, the narrator, threw in. He's a pastor. In other words, showing that Christianity is actively on the ground fighting child sacrificing. That's the overall premise. Now, he will never say that in such terminology, but thank God your host, True Power is Mine, most certainly will. Let's continue.
All right, 1, 2, 3, jump. Yeah, you did it. I got it. That's it.
This horrendous crime isn't the ancient ritual you might imagine.
Child sacrifice is a recent phenomenon. It's a recent
lie. There's nothing recent about the magic works. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that like that, but I'm sick. I basically got a temperature, but I had to do this show. I'm running on pure spirit myself right now. Child sacrifices have been going on. H, welcome from Germany, my friend. Peace and power. PU. You smell it? You smell the truth now. We have to understand, friends, humanity is at stake. Our very species is on the eve of total automated tyranny. Total automated tyranny is coming our way. There will be no place in the biosphere to hide. And that is what we all must face. Whether you're in the so-called Western world, you're in the Middle East, you're in Asia, you're in Africa, you're in Australia, you're in India, South America, Central America, North America, or the Pacific Islands. You are living on a planet right now that is being run and driven by this ideal of wealth and money. There truly are no borders. There's just rubles. They're just dollars. They're just yen. It's just money. And this is going to be illustrated in this presentation because without the money from the Australian dude, this brother here would not be able to go out and save those children. Peter would be limp. But because of money, Peter can be erect and go out there and do what he needs to do. Let's continue.
Problem and mostly done by those we call witch doctors. They mutilate children and use their blood, tissue, or any body organs with the belief that when you use those body parts into witchcraft rituals, you get wealth, you get protection, you get some form of blessing.
The few who somehow survive the
I'm so sorry. Every time I see that little baby right there, that little baby and how he has to walk, man, my heart just, yeah, Brother David, Peter may in actuality be a homosexual, but you know what? If he is or if he's not, I could care less on this issue. He's out here doing something I physically can't do. I can't go to Uganda right now and help these children and bring them to a place of comfort and understanding and hope. But Peter is. And I'm going on the record. I don't care if the man is a homosexual, straight up. I just do not care. Because he's doing something for humanity. He's doing something out of love. And he's doing something around a bunch of people who would straight up kill your ass. The man has guts. And the man has a heart. And that's what really matters.
this ordeal, like Robert, usually suffer from terrible injuries.
Are you able to get on the swing by yourself? Many doctors and surgeons say that based on this injury he had on his neck, he will never walk. And he has beat that.
Robert's remarkable progress is largely thanks to surgery he received in a...
Now, here comes the propaganda, guys. Here comes the propaganda. And I want this to be in your psyche, your consciousness. Colonizer basically went into his forefather's house, kicked in the door, took over the food, and told his forefather, you have to give me money for food. But this is my house, this is my land. Doesn't matter. This boy's sitting here because of actions of colonization. Let's not forget that fact. Let's continue.
Australia 2 years ago. He's one of several child sacrifice survivors who've been treated at no cost by hospitals in Brisbane and Newcastle. But Peter's charity, Champisi Childcare Ministries, does more than rehabilitate survivors and raise awareness. It works with politicians, police, prosecutors, and judges to ensure that child sacrifice doesn't go unpunished.
It is not part of our culture. It has never been part of our culture. It is something that is relatively new, but growing.
I want to show you something. I want to show you some nonverbal communication. Watch this.
It is something that is
look at his lips,
new, but growing.
Right there, right there. See how he bites his lips? Right there. He's lying. He knows that part is a lie. Now he's doing some good work, but I gotta call out what I see out. When a person bites their lips like that, typically it's a lie. Now, it's been part of human condition and culture. Once people figured out how nature kind of works, they form cults or groups, and then they disseminate that information through that cult or group, that secret society. But all you really have to do is use a scientific method. You can break down the natural causations of these so-called supernatural manifestations. Let's continue.
ab'obuyinza bazinzeeko ekyalo ne bakwata
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna read this for people
Christians,
that find it
police,
hard to say.
w'abantu.
Hold on.
Part of our culture, it has never been part of our culture. It is something that is relatively new but growing.
Ab'obuyinza
Okay. The authorities have arrested a witch doctor and his family. See, oh my God, this is once again a witch doctor. Think about it. A witch, a doctor. We all know witches are women. That's feminine. How come they didn't call this dude a shaman? A shaman and his family was a witch doctor. See, once again, this is an attack on femininity, which we all know that in Kemet, it's more feminine energy than in Europe, which is more masculine energy. I'm just bringing this to your point so that you can see what's going on.
bazinzeeko ekyalo ne bakwata abasamize
Because they found them with human skulls.
omusamize ne famire ye bakubasanga n'obuwangwa bw'abantu babasanze n'engoye
They found them with clothes of dead people
z'abafu abadde bakaziikibwa
who have been buried.
It's very difficult to know the scale, but the numbers we work with each year is between 20 to 25 each year of children that we have.
confirmed cases.
Yes, Sister Hinton. These are terms that bring fear and promote ignorance. The reason why you're in the situation is because you're ignorant to scientific truth. The reason why colonizers were able to colonize is because they were able to bring that tech in and subvert the young people into believing this is where they want to go. They don't want to be in tune with nature. They want to be masters of nature. Let's continue.
Confirmed
Child
cases
sacrifice.
each year. And those are just the numbers we know for us as a very small organization.
A 10-centimeter long scar on the back of the neck will be a lifetime reminder for 11-year-old Kanani Nankunda of the day his sister was killed and her.
You look at that and you understand. Look at that. That wound was not caused by an accident. That wound was intentional. Some human being thought it was a good idea to try to behead this little baby. This is what fires me up. Seeing women, children, and even men abused savagely, without remorse, without any consequence. That is what pisses me off.
Organs harvested as part of human sacrifice ritual.
We have a society that believes in witchcraft. The majority of the population, including the.
Now look at this judge. She's sitting up here with blonde hair, right? And this is supposed to be the judge. Sitting up here with blonde hair. I don't know if she's using lightning creams or whatnot. I have no idea. But this is the tragedy. This is Margaret Montoni. Yeah, that's the judge. That's who's gonna pass judgment. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. And doesn't it contradict what a dude said earlier? She's saying that hold on, listen to what she says. She says that this society is all about witchcraft, and they always been. Check it out. And then I let it roll.
And for organs harvested as part of human sacrifice ritual.
We have a society that believes in witchcraft. The majority of the population, including the Christians who go to church, they consult these witch doctors.
Did you hear? Even the Christians that go to church consult the witch doctors. Which the witch doctors happen to be male, so they really should be called either warlock doctors or they should be called shamans.
Widespread concern over child sacrifice in Uganda emerged around 10 years ago, following an economic boom and rapid social change.
Now look at that picture. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. Do you see the huts? Do you see people running around in little straw dresses and stuff? No, highly advanced technology. Buildings like that don't get prayed into existence. They get made, constructed. This is what I'm talking about.
Perhaps people saw an easy route to riches. Some witch doctors, using the cover of traditional medicine, find it all too...
Was that Wanshu, that Chinese telecommunication company? Welcome to the show, Half Q, Peace and Power. You see, folks, when we're looking at what's going on here, if you're taking magic, if you're using sexual magic, which they call this child sacrifice, in reality, it's really sexual magic. That's what it is. I don't really want to go all into that. That's truly a whole new a different show. I will bring on an expert and we will go into this. I'll write this down. I will do a show on sexual magic, but I will bring in an expert as a guest. But I know enough of the topic as a layman to speak on it. Whenever you're coming from a situation where you have nothing and shamans or witch doctors or whatever you want to call it starts doing a couple of things and you start seeing things manifest, such as modern buildings, infrastructures, things of that nature, you are going to start subconsciously equating the witch doctor shaman's activity with prosperity. This is the trap.
Too easy to exploit the greedy and gullible, even wealthy businessmen and politicians.
They manipulate the mind of their clients. And when they see that this one is interested in money, is interested in wealth, and is so greedy, they'll go ahead and ask the impossible. They ask you to sacrifice a human being. And people have gone ahead to do it.
They call him the miracle child. A machete was sliced through Alan's head.
Look at that. Oh my God, this is making me physically ill. Look at what happened to this baby. Look at what happened to this poor baby. Only a depraved individual would ever do this to another human being. Would ever do this to another human being. No mercy.
Head and neck in an attempt to behead him.
Back in 2012, the BBC investigated the case of Alan Sambatia.
The men Alan claims kidnapped him for sacrifice live in this village. They were arrested and released without charge.
Posing as businessmen with a construction project, the BBC captured shocking footage of one of the witch doctors Alan had accused.
We were introduced to this man, Awali. During the first meeting, Awali sacrificed a goat to bring luck to the business. A few days later, we were invited back to his shrine to discuss what he regards as the most powerful spell, child sacrifice.
Now, before old boy goes into this, you better understand it's real. You better understand the perception that these people are believing is occurring is quite certainly real, and you're not going to stop it. unless you educate people to the truth. Science is the way of the future. You can say what you will. I brothers, trust me, I know. I feel the spirit. I feel the spirit right now. And it's yelling to me to tell this message to you guys. Do not overlook the benefit of science and technology, but apply it correctly. Don't allow the AI to control you. You control the AI. Or else the chops to the neck will be yours.
There are two ways of doing this. We can bury the child alive on your construction site, or we cut the child and put their blood in a bottle of spiritual medicine. If it's a male, the whole head is cut off, and his genital.
Hey there. What you watching? You could be watching here.
You could be watching TPIM. That's our live. Now look at this scene. Now this is the scene that a lot of the uninitiated have about Kemet. Sitting there cooking over a little wooden stove, not even a wooden stove, just a little some rocks in a pot. Most people would say that this is poverty at its finest. Most people would also suggest that they might not want to live there. And look at this shovel. You got like a piece of stick, not milled or nothing fancy, in a shovel. These are the people who are susceptible to being basically snatched up and killed. These are the people. They're not like that other place. This is the propaganda. This is what I want you to see. This is the result of colonization. And this is why these people are in the position that they're in. It's really quite sad. In 2019, we still have portions of humanity in this state of being by design. Now, if you guys didn't see the report about the Paradise Papers, all that offshore money, that's this dude's money. All that offshore money, Sister Hinton, that's your money. Brother David, that's your money. HQ, that's your money. Some of us aren't this bad off yet, but it's coming.
Alan Sambatia is 16 years old now, and incredibly, the men accused of attacking him continue to evade justice. His physical injuries have mostly healed, thanks to surgery he received in Australia. But the emotional scale.
Oh, can we just circle jerk Australia a little more? Oh, if it wasn't for people who put together Australia, Uganda wouldn't be in the shape it's in.
Scars are still raw.
Somehow it is difficult to talk about what happened to me. And sometimes when I talk about it, I start crying because I remember the injuries I got. I remember when I was taken, I tried to struggle to run. They hit me up and they did whatever they wanted. So when I think about it, I cry.
Never be the same again.
N'ennaku z'omwezi sizizeerabira. Gwali 29 mwezi gwa 10, ennaku z'omwezi 21, omwana wange yali ava ku ssomero naye yawambibwa ne bamutwala.
They took him to the bush.
Ne bamutwala mu nsiko ne bamusala.
They cut him.
Ekino ekyamutya.
He was cut on his head.
Oh, that's
the little boy that they showed. Oh man, this is tragic. And this, I believe, is his daddy.
N'asalibwa obulago kwegamba ne private partners ne bazikosa. Nze mu kutunula kwange neewunya nnyo olwaleero okulaba nga Alan mulamu.
How do you feel about the men that did this to your son?
Ekisinga okunnuma ennyo be bantu abamanyi obulungi, nakula nabo, nasoma.
All right, we're gonna kind of pass up all this. I want to get to this one point right here. Now, hold on. They kind of do like a little breakdown. Here we go, right here. Let's just start right here. They do a little breakdown where they bring in the white boy from Australia with the money. All right, and they basically bribe the cops to hear this boy's.
His team to the village where the latest victim was found dumped in the bush.
Oh my gosh.
An unidentified boy about 10 years old. Peter's here with Hudson, Alan's dad, to appeal for information and to raise awareness of a problem cloaked in ignorance and fear.
Why we're here, we heard of a story of a...
Now, how many people out in the crowd do you really think understands English? If you watch the crowd on this segment, you're gonna see like very unemotional, no spirit. They don't understand what this dude's saying.
A child who was sacrificed here, and unfortunately, the people that kill these children are among us. If
Look at that old man's face. So that he's like, why is this fool up here talking in the language of the colonizers? You can see on this man's face, he don't trust Peter. He don't trust what Peter got to say. Legendary, welcome to the show. Peace and power. This is what I'm talking. And this lady back here, you see her eyes. Oh, so much pain. The eyes, it tells you right there. He don't trust dude. Let's continue.
If you know who killed our child, just come and tell us. Call
all the people, they're just not digging what dude has to say.
The number, we will even put a reward. Please don't fear. If you fear, next time it will be your child.
The villagers listen politely.
Yes, this is totally scripted. They pull those people together and put them up there on that hill just for this little. Okay, they just put them up there. But now watch. I want. The only reason why I'm showing you this, I want you guys to see how the people react. Look at their reactions when this man gets up here and talks in their language. Watch.
But the person who makes the biggest impression today is this man.
Now I'm a witch doctor. The headgear and a black cloth makes me a witch doctor.
Paul Adida is a repentant former witch doctor. He's wise to all their tricks.
Do you hear the crowd talking in the background? You feel the energy? I literally feel the energy increase.
The villagers lap it up. They get the feel.
So you see that? See, they did this on purpose. They did this on purpose. The way they presented it. You saw all the imagery of the men before. They're all quiet, looking crazy. Now the first thing they show are the women. And they're all laughing and smiling.
Feeling this is very familiar to many of them.
Reaction from the community sometimes is very hard to know. Some of them.
What a lie. How is it hard to know? You can tell when the people are digging what you got to say. You can tell when they don't understand and they're suspicious. You got to start speaking their language and they'll dig it. Nobody wants to see their baby get chopped up.
I'm pretty sure understood the message. And if out of 100 you can get one to abandon these practices, that's a success.
Right now, Peter and Rodney have some reason for hope. After 9 years, there's finally been some progress in the case of Alan Sabatia. The first breakthrough came late last year. A sympathetic judge ordered the retrial of the two witch doctors Alan had identified.
Hello, Justice Lopez.
I guess with enough money, double jeopardy doesn't matter. I mean, whenever you come in and you high-five the judge, I don't know. I don't know if anybody can get justice in that situation.
Judge Margaret Mutonye is one of Peter's most important allies in the fight against child sacrifice.
Since the judgment on Alan's case, we were able to arrest the first suspect.
Peter tells her that one of the witch doctors has already been arrested and the other went on the run. But police have now tracked him down.
And now, tomorrow, is the operation to arrest him and bring him to justice.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Good news.
Courts in Uganda are so cash-strapped that this couldn't happen without Rodney's fundraising efforts in Australia.
Can I clarify that? The people in Uganda's courts are so broke that without cash from Australia, none of this would have happened. That's what they ultimately just said there.
As a judge, I find it very frustrating because I believe in justice. Can you imagine a case where an accused person whom you very well know that killed you?
Exactly. This is a setup to arrest men that they call witches, which, most people think of witches as women. Once again, effeminizing the men.
Child who killed your brother, but because of delayed trials, he comes away scot-free.
Justice Margaret, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you.
God bless you. It's a pleasure.
To build the city, we need to get a root.
I mean, I'm hoping you guys are seeing two different worlds here. Remember a little 16-year-old boy cooking in a little shanty? And then you look at this magnificent, well-constructed hotel. Two parallel civilizations simultaneously occupying the same space.
The next morning, Peter and Rodney meet with two police detectives, whose identities we will disguise for their own protection.
Have a seat.
This afternoon, they'll all set out to capture the witch doctor accused of attacking Alan, Kayumbi Awali.
We can bury the child alive on your construction site.
This is the same man who was filmed 8 years ago by the BBC, offering to sacrifice a child.
The whole head is cut off.
We have to drive a very long way from Kampala to where he's hiding.
So are we confident that we know where he is? We believe we know where he is?
The police are tracking Awali's mobile phone, but
and just to remember, the dude from Australia, he's no policeman. He's just like a citizen. But he's up here talking with the judges, the chief of police, and all this because he has what? He has money. Exactly. Why are they portraying men as doctors, as witch doctors? Because you say, during this whole report, witch doctors, you don't see nan woman up here practicing. It's all men chopping up little babies. That's what they're trying to get you to see. And it's really propaganda.
2 previous attempts to catch him have already failed.
So he's harboring him.
They can't afford any mistakes. stakes this time. Trying to catch a witch doctor isn't cheap.
I need to give him some money.
300, 100, 150, 550. He's working out all the costs that are associated with collecting those resources that we need to add now to the operation.
And you guys are paying for all of that?
Yes. Yeah.
There it is, right? Do you see that? You see that stack of cheese? Without that money, Mr. I guess criminal or perpetrator, whatever you want to call him, would not come to their form of justice. This is not justice at all. This is justice should come from the people. It shouldn't come from a stack of money. And until you fix what's wrong with the people, there's only so much money that people are going to be willing to pour into this before they're like, oh, the heck with it. Let them chop up the kids. It's really disgusting and it's utterly sad. This is what happens when you're dealing with idle logs.
It's part of the process is actually funding the operations. While it's open, fingers crossed.
We have a very short window to execute this. So please use all your resources and capacity to get this.
That roadblock is not.
I just had to jump through this because after that, they was going to go through this cat and mouse style where they're trying to find this guy. But what ultimately catches the guy, spoiler alert, they pay off his buddy and they track his cell phone.
Not able to be established. And it's probably because it's Friday afternoon.
HQ, education's a part of it, but the true key is liberation. Liberation, true freedom. That's the key. Because once one is free, then they're actually in the correct mode to receive the proper education.
The policemen probably have not been paid and they've gone home. So due to lack of information, it's very difficult to make a decision. Unfortunately, we're almost, I suppose, given up. We're going to go home, and this guy's going to get away for the third time now.
But just as things are looking hopeless, some good news.
All of a sudden, out of the blue, we get a phone call saying the guy's back in town, and now all we had to do was find him. And through literally incredible detective work on Peter's part, not even the police, he managed to find out where he was and who to actually lead us to the house.
Man, could you imagine how utterly dark and bleak that is without the cameras being there? This thing, you know.
ate ngwe aka mbula esimu yeyo esembayo 94
did you see that? Did you see that? Hold on. Watch. I'm gonna stop it right there. Now this guy's the criminal. That's the criminal right there. The guy that's chopping up kids. But watch what this guy does. Look at that face. Look at the face. Look at the eyes. He's like, yeah, we're on a big game hunt. We got him. Now watch this. Watch. Bam. Bam. Do you see that? A W and a P and the eyes and the sinister mouth. This is the only reason why I brought this to your attention. We quite literally have a situation where you have a group of people that creates this horrible situation, horrible living conditions for another group. And then they come in with the money and the tude to steal suppress people. Now, the criminal guy in this particular one, yes, he has it coming. If he indeed he really did hack on these children, he more than has it coming. But this goes to a deeper understanding of spirituality. What is the spirit in which this dude is doing what he's doing? Is it to promote peace and love, or to promote fear and suspicion? And this group of people that is all fearful of one another and suspicious of one another, are they ever going to truly technologically evolve, or will they forever be in an arrested development state of being? WP. Now, military, football, white power hand sign. Now he has it upside down, but that's the same as that. Hold on. President Trump throws a white power sign. Hold on. Images. I think this football. There it is again. W and the P. W and the P. And the most scariest bit is when you look at the hand signal from the future officers and sailors throwing that up. Excuse me. The other day, I had a conversation with Mark from Anaheim. And we were talking about the military thing and minorities' representations of military personnel. And he said something that just shocked me to the core. It's not that young men and women aren't trying to get into these organizations, it's that they're being blocked. They purposefully do not want you to learn the military tactics and skills. You can be a cook, you can be a janitor, but you're not going to be recon, you're not going to be this, that, and the third. And all this is to keep, once again, the whole message today is science and technology coupled together with a people creates a strong, defensible society. If you don't have the defenses, the next person or next group that subscribes to science and technology will develop weapons and assets to dominate you. And even on this program here, it's meant to be, oh, he's trying to help get the evil witch doctors off, but it's ultimately about dominating. And they use Peter as the front man. But without his money, none of what Peter and his little group was doing is even possible. So what does this reinforce? It reinforces the savagery of the local population. And it reinforces the philanthropy of average Australian citizens. It's propaganda. But when we pick this thing apart, we can see how the plays are being played. Now let's jump into, and once again, alt-rights, wait, hold on. If Trump is impeached, there will be violence from the right. Let's go over here to videos real quick. Now, this is now, once again, the common root between this story here and the next story is this ideal of, oh, come on. Hold on, yeah, hold on. Let me once again, this is the problem with doing a kind of a live show that's not scripted. If I was scripted, none of this would be happening. So just bear with me, folks. You know, use this time to get a drink, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do. But let's see if we can get this on YouTube. Okay, check this out. What?
He's not going to be removed. He's not going to be removed. He's not going to be removed.
Do you feel confident in that?
Not by me. My 357 Magnum is comfortable with that.
Did you hear what he said? That's code. My technology is comfortable with that. And look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. And look at his eyes. Do you not see it? Do you not see it? Yeah. Let's continue.
End of story.
And they remove him in the Senate. I think it would cause physical violence in this country that we haven't seen since the first Civil War. I think it'll become the second Civil War.
I would think that there would be a strong movement. It would be very negative. Possible violence. Not that I'm condoning violence. There'll be a lot of mad Americans. Possibly 80 million Americans on the loose, not very happy. What we're seeing is a divided country. You know, both sides are dug in. No one's budging. We have families torn apart. It's including my family. My daughters are liberal. I'm conservative. Now that this whole thing has been going on, we just had a problem at Thanksgiving. Very unfortunate. I wish it never would have happened. This whole mess we're in.
Did he do something wrong? It doesn't appear to me that he did. But I think it's going to be very hard for people to change anyone's mind. If you're a Trump supporter, I'll speak for myself. As a Trump supporter, I believe him. And I don't believe that he's dumb enough to say something in front of all those people that would actually get him in trouble.
I don't think he's going to get it wrong. I really don't. I mean, he's like the best president. It's not going to work.
All right. So that's the problem that we're in. Brother Chris, welcome to the show. How do you turn on your family? Money, power. What you think is cool or not. You know, I wanted to play the one with the preacher. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let me go over here. Preacher warns of violence as Trump is impeached. I wish I could. I'll just have to let this thing load up. We're gonna probably have to go through the advertisement. What the heck? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Finally. Oh, here we go. You're impeached.
If they take him out, there's going to be violence in America. I believe there are people in this country, veterans, there are cowboys, mountain men, guys that know how to fight. Okay? And they're going to make a decision that the people that listed Donald Trump are not going to get away with it. And they're going to hunt him down. I'm serious. They're going to hunt them down. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to see the country go this way. But once hell breaks loose, if these people in Washington think that they're going to get away with it, it's not going to happen. The Trump supporters are going to hunt them down. It's going to happen. And this country is going to be plunged into darkness. And they brought it upon themselves.
And they brought it upon themselves. You know, what happened to the rule of law? What happened to if indeed an individual, whether the president or a homeless person, did something wrong that, they have to, be punished? But see, it's not about punishment. It's not about righteousness. It's about political power and political propaganda. This is so insidious. Even on this story with the child sacrifices, it's there. The hate, the double speak, the Orwellian nightmare. And until we have true unity, true common cause of purpose, because I guarantee you, if I ask any of you listeners and viewers, do you think it's a good idea to abuse people and mistreat children? You're going to be like, no, that's not cool. That's not righteous. That could be the first brick on a foundation of unity that we can continue to build upon. Common cause. Half Q is life. And experiencing joy, happiness, prosperity. That's the common cause. No, here, let's take this and go. No, take a drink and then give it back to me. You're not taking my water. No. See, even right now, I'm trying to, a little 2-year-old is trying to bully me and force me to give up my water. No, you're just going to pour it out on the floor. Yes, you are. No. Well, here, take it and go. I'm trying to do a live show. You're welcome. You can go. But you won't be able to get that cap off because I put it on like tight. Ha ha. Google it. Common cause. All right, let's Google it. Common cause. A nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to upholding the core values of American democracy. Bah! I already want to puke right there. That word right there, democracy. Democracy is two racist guy and one black guy voting on who does the shit work. That it doesn't work. We need a republic ideal. A republic that actually endows its citizens with rights that are beyond legislation. They're beyond police brutality. In other words, in a true republic, there is no police shootings and all that, because people who would engage in that type of activity will be dealt with, and then others who would want to indulge in that type of activity will get the picture. We have to get to the point to where we understand the difference between a republic and a democracy. I want to live in a republic. I want to have my rights guaranteed. So no matter who's in office, whatever buffoonery they could try to pass, it will not personally impact me. So in other words, there should be no laws pertaining to people's, sexual orientation or whatever they choose to ingest or any of that. The only laws really should be on things that are not human, such as corporations. How far can they go into their endeavors of basically being global locusts on the planet? They go to an area, pull out all the resources, and moves on. Corporations and conglomerates are humanity's locusts. So that's the problem. And that's where we're at. We have to understand that until we get to that point to where we're truly liberated, and it's not just us, it's all. None are free unless all are free. then we're going to constantly go on this roller coaster of tyranny and quasi-freedom. Tyranny and quasi-freedom. Tyranny and quasi-freedom. We're fixing to head to a new feudalistic society to where you're going to have the king or emperor. You're going to have the lords and counts. You're going to have their goons, and then you're going to have the peasants, which are basically going to be populated by pretty much everyone who hears my voice right now. There might be one or two elites listening, but for the most part, you guys are going to be either peasants or goons. I don't think we want to go to that world. Even George Orwell would blush thinking about that world. Hopefully, before I leave, I just want to let you know one thing. Mike Pence is an ideologue. God's plan for Mike Pence. I want to post this link to this article. And on your own time, please read it. Because I want you to understand, you get rid of Trump. Now, it is what it is. This is who you get. And don't forget, we already can't criticize Israel. It's basically illegal. You can't call for the boycott of Israeli products. Basically illegal. So in a republic, that would be impossible. But in a democracy, it's reality. So that being said, this will include TPI. Oh, also, in about an hour, I will be broadcast or taping the Carl Nelson show today. Craig Hewlett will be the guest, and I believe Mark Vanderheim will be calling in on that show. So I implore you all, check out the Carl Nelson show today, and I think you all will totally like it. You're all gonna totally like it. So without further ado, this includes TPIM SR Live today. Today's date, December 18, 2019, the year of our Lord. As always, I ask you to live your life of integrity without hate, envy, or greed. Brothers and sisters, please, 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 let's try to be kinder to each other. Peace and power, unity and victory, dignity and respect, liberation. I'm out.